Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host, Jennifer, and today is Monday, and we're having a slow go getting ready this morning. We got things happening. It is Sunday in my world. I'm recording this yesterday. I got a good cup of caffeine going so that I can try to motivate myself to get the things done today that need to get done. I have a long list of things that I need to do. I am wearing a cute little wife beater sundress because it is going to be 85 degrees today in Central Virginia. So that means hot weather, which means my hair will be up in a ponytail. Absolutely, once it dries. Because if I pull it up while it's wet, I'm going to get a headache because it'll be too tight. Now on Monday, Cinnamon Stitches comes on and talks about what she's been doing for the past 7 days. The good, the bad, the ugly. I talk about what I have made in the crafting sector of my life. And I talk about what I've been doing this weekend with the kids and the family and all that update. So we're going to give an update on Oreo, the school bully, crafting things, what I've been doing this weekend, what we're going to show for the week. Well, what I have planned to show for the week anyway. And, talking about my cool cup, Give Kids the World. Give Kids the World is a charity that is in Orlando, Florida area. They have a giant complex that helps kids with terminal illness to have, it's kind of like Make-A-Wish, but is way cooler if you ask me, because they have their own complex. They have housing for the people to come stay in, ready-made housing, really cool themed housing. They have amusement park things on property, and they give kids vacations to SeaWorld, Disney World, Universal Studios, whatever their wish is. They try to make it happen. And I have been to Give Kids the World a couple of times now. They in the past have had a giant Christmas event they have Christmas lights and all that stuff, and they invite the public to come. I mean, you got to pay to get in. And I actually did a video on it on our other channel on Lilo N Stitches. It's really, really cool. It's a million lights, and it's all to raise money for their organization. So, Give Kids the World. Oh. Now, what have I been working on? Well, let's start with the blog, because I've had so many people ask about Oreo. Now, Oreo is still upstairs in my daughter's bedroom sleeping, because it is all of, I want to say, 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm not sure what time it is. I don't know where my phone went. And I don't have my watch on. I have no idea. Oreo's doing drastically better. Now, if you don't know, if you didn't watch that video last week, I made a video about Oreo, and she came downstairs one day, and I didn't notice it. Juju did. Juju's my 18-year-old daughter. Oreo is Juju's dog. I mean, we gave Oreo to Juju for her 8th birthday because she wanted a second dog. We already had one dog at that time. His name was Day Day. He was the best dog in the entire world. And still to this day, like, no other dog compares to him. Bentley's amazing. I love Bentley. Bentley's my best friend. Bentley is my emotional support animal. He's not Day Day. Like, Day Day was it. Just don't tell Bentley I said that, because Bentley thinks he's the little prince, but Day Day was it. And Day Day had the same coloring as Bentley, which is really strange, because from the back, Bentley and Day Day look a lot alike, except Day Day was purebred, so he had really short hair, whereas Bentley is a mixed dog. He's a mutt, and he's got really long hair, but he's got the same coloring that Day Day had, and almost the same patterning on his body. Anyway, Oreo. Juju's like, Mom, Oreo is walking weird. And she wasn't limping, but she was walking with her legs, like her back legs, out a little further and kind of waddling like a pregnant dog would walk. And my dogs are all fixed. That's not happening. She's also 10, so that really ain't happening. And she's something's wrong with her leg, like her ankle looks swollen. And by ankle, like the bottommost joint before her foot, it was swolled up the way my ankle looked when I broke it in October. it had that level of swelling just around the ankle bone. So I'm like, what the heck did she do? Like, I know that it could be possible that maybe Bentley was being too rough and like grabbed her leg. I know that that kind of stuff happens. They're usually pretty good, but every once in a while I get a yip because someone was too rough because they got too excited while they were wrestling. And usually it's Bentley, because Bentley is still only 1.5 years old. He is very, like, he doesn't know his own strength. He doesn't realize he's so much bigger than the other two. He towers over both of them now. And so I thought maybe Bentley did something, and I'm looking at her, and so we did the full, like, let's feel the joints, let's feel the bone, because my daughter has training for animal care. She took a lot of career classes in high school, and so I think 2 of the classes she took was about animal care, because she wasn't sure what field she wanted to go into. And so she has training with very basic animal rescue, animal training, animal whatever, I don't know what it's called. She could be a vet tech. And so she's like, okay, she's feeling the joint, she's moving the leg, she's making sure there's mobility. And she's like, there's a lot of swelling underneath. So where her back legs meet, so this is her hoo-ha, her back legs. This whole section right here was just a big bag of swelling. Like, and it hung down pretty low. And because of the way Oreo is shaped, you couldn't see it unless you like spread her legs open. And she's got back issues, so she's not letting you do that. She does not lay on her back. She does not lay, like, she doesn't even sit. She stands up or she lays down on her stomach. And she's done it for years. She's fine. She's on glucosamine. She's fine. She also is covered in little tiny fatty deposit tumors, which are not cancerous. They're not, but she's got a really big one that hangs here that kind of pushes a little bit on her, I don't know, trachea, whatever. Like, trachea, that's not what it's called. This area, it pushes. It's not harming her. It might cause her a little bit of irritation now and then, but like, from what we can tell, it's just a lipoma, if you will. It's just a fatty deposit, but it's pretty large here. And then she has what the doctor called the warts all over. She's got a wart here. She's got a skin tag right here on the liner part of her eye, which every once in a while when it gets too big, I pluck it off, because it's just a skin tag and it's not real well attached. But unless I have proper surgery done on it, it's going to keep regrowing. So when it gets a certain length, I just take my fingernail and I pull it off like that. It bleeds for like a second, but it's the equivalent of me popping a pimple on my face. It doesn't hurt her. She doesn't whimper. She barely flinches. And it's right here on her eye. So what we were thinking is, I honestly was thinking abscess. I was thinking maybe she got bit by a snake or something and there's an abscess, because we do have a lot of snakes in the area. We do have poisonous snakes or venomous. They're not poisonous. We do have venomous snake here. Most of the time it's like real simple, like garter snakes or rat snakes. Neither of which scare me at all. I'm not scared of snakes. But I like make myself aware of what snakes look like. And I'm not a herpetologist, but I can identify most of the breeds of snake that are in our area because I've had them all in my backyard. And Day-Day, as we mentioned, has been bit by a snake, but it was not a venomous snake, but he just had like punctures on the bottom of his foot that irritated him for a couple weeks, and he was fine. He healed from it. So I'm thinking she had some sort of abscess in her undercarriage. And I'm thinking the swelling was just pulling in her foot. I was kind of correct about that. But when we took her to the vet, the vet said that he thinks it's her lymph node. She's had an infection in her lymph nodes in the past when she was a puppy, when she was all of 8 pounds. When I first got her, I had to nurse her back to health. She was on a bunch of medications. And I was a foster mom to her because she was so sick. She had Demodex. She had the infection in her lymphatic system. Like, she was sick and she needed around-the-clock care. And I volunteered and I fostered her, and she became Juju's puppy. And we were told she was a pit bull when we got her, and she is actually a Dalmatian pointer mix. So she could not be further from a pit bull. She is so neurotic, and she's funny. She's terrified of like smoke alarms. So even if I'm watching a video, you know, sometimes you watch videos on TikTok and somebody's got that god-awful chirping happening with their fire alarm, she freaks out and runs outside. And I'm like, you're a Dalmatian, you're not supposed to be that scared of a fire alarm. You're supposed to run and save the people from the burning buildings. You're a Dalmatian. Don't you know this? So, nope, she's neurotic. She's scared of everything. She hypes other dogs up when she's scared. So, but she's also very much like Scarlett thinks she's her mom, because if you say, "Where's Mama?" she goes and finds Oreo and licks her. 100% of the time, every time. "Where's Mama? Where's Mama's?" She goes and finds Oreo, because Oreo apparently is her mama. Never taught her that. I don't know why she thinks that's Mama, but whatever. Scarlett was absolutely devastated when we took Oreo to the vet, like devastated. Oh my God, where's Mama's? Where's, like, she's pacing the house. And I asked her, I was like, "Where's Oreo?" And she ran up the stairs, and she's doing this the whole time. Like, she's going room to room. She runs back downstairs. She's looking out the front door. Like, where's Oreo? Where? She can't find her. She goes out the doggy door. She can't find Oreo. So I'm like, "Scarlett, Oreo's fine. Oreo will be home later. It's fine." Because Oreo was gone all day at the vet. It was a pretty hefty bill, too. It was a pretty hefty bill, but the yarn boxes almost completely covered the vet bill, which I'm so grateful for. Like, you have no idea. I offloaded a bunch of yarn. I mean, it doesn't look like it because I still got buckets, but there's so much room on my shelves. These are going to get rearranged and condensed down because some of these buckets are only half full. They don't look that way because, like, the yarn is shoved in there, but once everything gets laid out and organized, I'm probably going to be able to get rid of a couple of these buckets, either putting the yarn on shelves or condensing them down. So, and that's always a positive. We got rid of a lot of yarn, and it's going to all new homes, and I hope you guys all love what you got. I really took a lot of time, effort, and thought and heart to make the boxes. I tried to make every box a box that I would like getting, that I would be excited opening it. And there's a lot of Premier Yarns. A lot of Premier Yarns in the boxes. I'm just going to tell you that. We have dwindled down the Premier Yarns haul. I mean, a lot. I'm just going to say that. So, with that, it was a lot of work, but I put my heart into those boxes, so I really do hope you enjoy them. And know that I packed each one of those with my heart. But Oreo is on a steroid for several weeks. We have to do a step down process with her. She's on really high doses, and then we step it down, then we step it down again. She's on antibiotics, and they also gave her pain relief, and she has not needed the pain relief after the second day. The swelling has gone down a lot. I mean, the swelling bag was, it could fill up my hand, like, and I have pretty big hands. I have miniature hands compared to Mr. Cinnamon, but my hands are pretty big. It was a lot of swelling, and what they think was happening is the lymph node, which normally are like this big, was like this big, so it's really swollen. The pocket around it is buildup of swelling and blood, and the lymph node is low. Not nymph. The lymph node was pushing against the blood vessel to where the blood couldn't drain back out of her leg properly, so it was pooling down there. And he said the reason he knows that's what is happening is because when he pushed on it, there was a huge indentation that just stayed there, and he said that tells us it's blood, not like swelling, because swelling, if you push on it, it will come right back out. Like, my hands are swollen, like, it's not staying. See, you see the big old swole pocket. It pushes right back out. But with a blood swell like what she had, it left a huge, like, it was crazy, and it felt different. It was a little bit, when you swell with like fluids in your body, you guys will know if you have any swelling. It's more soft, squishy. If you have like blood swell, it's harder and it's more dense. So we have a really good vet. He's right up the road. He's just expensive, and it's because he is not just a vet, he's also an emergency vet. And so, I mean, he's saved Bentley's life. He has saved Oreo's life twice now. He's a good vet, but like, God, like that kind of a bill takes a strain on you no matter what. And unlike when Bentley got sick, I had money in my savings account for Bentley, and this time I didn't, and I was just like, thank God for the boxes. Thank God I had extra yarn. Like, thank God for all of that. Just thank God. Because I was able to bounce back and recover, and I'm just so eternally grateful for you guys that bought boxes. So Oreo's doing a lot better. She's back to herself. The swelling in her ankle is gone. The swelling in her undercarriage is probably half the size that it was, and it's shrinking every day. She never lost her appetite. She doesn't really appear to need the pain relief, so like I'm grateful about that. And yeah, she's doing a lot better, which takes a huge weight off of my shoulders. Now, the bully situation with little man, Mama Bear roared a lot on a daily basis. I've been in communication with that school every single day in one form or another. I've either been in the office, I've been on the phone, or I've been emailing people. And I have been reaching out to just people in the school. Like, y'all are gonna hear me. Y'all are gonna hear me. They refused to move the bully out of the classroom. But the bully has formed himself a little gang of kids that are just like forming an attack on my son. And they don't like his ADHD quirks. So they're bullying him because they also are saying a lot of racial things towards him, which irritates me. But I kept asking to have this kid removed, like, something needs to be done. This is not, it's escalating, it's getting worse, like, I'm tired of this. I'd like lawsuits. I'm gonna go to social media and launch a campaign against the school. Like, I'm at that point, right? Finally, I'm gonna tell you right now, little man finally, for the first time, fought back. He fought back. They're like, maybe it's time we take him out of the classroom because it's getting dangerous. 6 months of this crap. So this wonderful teacher stepped in and was like, I will take Lucas. I know Lucas. She filled in his classroom in the 2nd grade. She knows him. Day 1 of him being in her class, we were on the phone with her. She knew his history. She's been a teacher for 38 years. She asked about his medication. She gave us updates on how he's behaving in the classroom and concerns she may or may not have with him. This is things I have not heard a single peep from his other teacher. And I was like, oh, I love this woman so much. I love her. She's very direct. She said, I'm strict. I have rules. If he misbehaves in class, the other kids are going to tattle on him. Like, I know what's going on in my classroom, which is one of the main problems in the other classroom. He didn't know what any of the kids were doing. How do I know? Because they were emailing me while they were in his class. They were messaging me on a website they were not supposed to be on. They were messaging me thinking it was him. I reported them and they got their computers taken away. I had screenshots. Mama don't play. Mama don't play. Yep. And Mama's real smart too. Well, little man and Mr. Cinnamon are smart. We put Lucas's email on my phone, his school email, because the school's got it locked down. Okay, the school has the emails locked down. You cannot email outside of their server. So unless it ends in his school email, you can't do anything, right? He tried emailing me from school several times because he was having issues, and he's trying to email me and contact me in the middle of the day. He didn't know how to do that, and it wasn't going through. So we put his email logged in on my phone, and so if he emails himself, it goes to Mommy's phone, and we can conversate in his email as each other. Like, he emails himself, so at Lucas's email, I reply at Lucas's email, and it just keeps popping up in his inbox so we can conversate. Smarter than the school, right? So when said incident happened where little man fought back, this is hilarious. 1:30, little man's emailing, "Mommy, they're calling me trash." Ignore them, baby. You're not trash. And I'm trying to, like, I'm building them up. Like, you're a diamond. You're a treasure. You're not trash. You know that. Like, ignore them. Just let it go. Don't worry about it. Dismissal is 3:30, and it was still continuing on where this one person was just attacking all day long. And he emailed me saying, this person said, if I don't stop talking, he was just talking. He wasn't talking to her. He was talking. He talks to himself a lot. If I don't stop talking, she's going to say something really bad about me. It's in email proof. Stay away from this person. Don't talk to this person. And this is not the main bully. It's one of the main bully's low admirers. She came up at him at dismissal time, 3:30. This is 2 hours later. She came up at him. It was a little girl, okay? It was a girl. He pushed a girl. He pushed her. She put her hands on him first. And because everything else is going on, they had to have a suspension because of code conduct. But they only gave him 2 hours where the other kid got the full day because mommy had email proof that it's been going on for 2 hours in the classroom and the teacher's not paying attention. So when the teacher called Mr. Cinnamon, he's like, "Hey, this happened in class today." And Mr. Cinnamon's like, "Yeah, and it was such and such kid, wasn't it?" And how do you know that? How do you know what's going on in my classroom? Like, gobsmacked. Like, how do you know? I have emails and I forwarded them to everybody. Everybody. I screenshotted them so they couldn't go into his email and delete them. They're on my phone. They can't access that. He did get a warning though. If he misuses his computer, he will also get his computer taken away. There's nothing in the rule book that says he can't email himself. Come at me with that. I'll go to the school board. So, this is what it's like to have a brilliant child. "Mom, I can put my email on your phone." Mr. Cinnamon's like, "Yep, and then you can email yourself." Brilliant. I'm in that classroom. You don't even know. I know what's going on in your classroom, and you don't know what's going on in your classroom. Smart. Smart. I felt like I won something that day. I felt like I won. Like, my kid got a 2-hour suspension. He fought back for the first time in 6 months. He fought back. I don't approve of hitting girls, but like, she put her hands on him first. He stood up for himself. I won because I had proof. Because my kid is smart. He got moved to a new classroom where there's not bullies in the classroom all day. And his new teacher don't play that game. She knows what's going on in her classroom. She actually reminds me of a teacher I had, Miss Jenkins, in preschool. I love Miss Jenkins. Miss Jenkins was a volunteer. Everybody calls her grandma. She was the class grandma. She was the class grandma. It was like, I think it was preschool. And she was a volunteer. And she would come in there and she would just let you sit on her lap and she would read you books. And like, oh, I love Miss Jenkins. Why? You know what that's making me think of when I say that? I love me some Miss Jenkins. There ain't nobody there talking about Miss Jenkins. You know what that's from? That's from In Living Color. That was her name though, Miss Jenkins. I love Miss Jenkins. She was my black grandma. She really was. I loved her so much. I mean, you gotta think about it. I'm almost 45 years old. That was 40 years ago. I still remember Miss Jenkins. I remember what she smelled like. I remember what her bony legs felt like just sitting on her lap. Like, she was... And I didn't have a grandma growing up. My grandma died when I was 1.5. She was like the first time I had a sense of a real grandma. That's who Lucas's new teacher reminds me of, because she has a I'm not gonna play attitude, but she also is like, she cares. I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. We have 20 days of school left when he got moved. It doesn't make sense that they waited till the end of the school year to do anything. It does not, but it was riling up enough that I was, like I said, I wasn't playing anymore. I'm not playing this game. Like the first couple of incidents, I was like, okay, we can let this go a little bit. And I'm dealing with my own bullies, like in my own way on the internet. Like there's one person in particular that just I had to block because they won't shut up. But what he had to go through this year is just not, there's no excuse for it. And like the relief that Oreo's doing better, the relief that I got rid of all that yarn and I did it by myself. Like there's so much, like I feel so much lighter than even yesterday. I feel so much better. This video is gonna be long. But yeah, there was a lot going on in my life last week. Like last week was, I felt like I was being buried. It was hard. It was intense. It was a higher level of stress than I have had in a very, very long time. And like, things just started to fall into place. And like, I started to like, I feel so much better today. I feel so much better today. Little man, even yesterday, his entire, you're gonna hear Mr. Cinnamon mow the lawn. Little man's probably gonna go out there and help for the first time. He's never driven the lawnmower, so we'll see how that goes. He's his everything changed. Yes, like he was such an angel yesterday. I knock wood every time I say that because whenever I bragged on him, he has proven me wrong. Every single time since the day he was born. Lucas, like when Lucas was a baby, he didn't sleep at all. And so I would go, oh, Lucas actually slept last night. Finally, maybe something's turning around. And I didn't knock on wood. And then he would be up for 5 days straight, like with zero. Like he did not sleep. And it wasn't a newborn, like normal, I'm up every hour to eat. It was, he would fall asleep for 5 minutes and be up again. For days on end. And it was so bad. I was hallucinating because of lack of sleep. Like it was a type of intense that I cannot even describe to anyone else. And I would not wish that on my worst enemy to experience and go through that. Like at all. It was bad. So every time I've ever bragged on that child since he came out of my womb, he has proved me wrong. I'll show you. So, he's my spirited kid. And I was my mom's spirited kid, so it all evens out, I guess. So what have I been working on this week, aside from mental health, getting my dog healed, getting my child healed? Like, what have I been working on craft-wise? Not a whole lot. Because you can imagine everything that's been going on. I just have not had a lot of time to craft. Move that over there. I have one finished object. And the reason I finished this is because this was a couple nights ago. My anxiety was through the roof. And my anxiety's been so high that I can't even sit and crochet or knit or do anything like that. I can't even spin because the sitting still makes it worse at that level of an heightened anxiety. So this was a miracle this even got finished. Or started, for that matter. This was a, I want to say the kit is DMC. It was a hat kit. It was a ball. It looked like the Sesame Street things, except it was a donut instead of a cake with the little hat topper on top of it. It's a hat kit. I want to say it's from DMC. And I've had it in my stash for probably 2 years. I got it from a thrift store a while ago. I didn't even realize it's different types of yarn in the cake. So this is fuzzy, really, really soft fuzzy. Not chenille, but like that level of softness. This one is silky. Like, it's what Karen Simply Soft would be if it was fat, like a thick yarn, and if it was not, like it's not splitty. My battery needed changing. Alright, so this is like if it was a fat non-splitting version of Caron Simply Soft. It's that silky, like, smoothness. And then this white one part is chain spun. So I had no idea. I knew it was variegated. I didn't know the 3 yarns were different types of yarns, but I just made a little kid hat, and I actually had a little bit left over because it was made, it's a kid hat kit. So I had a little bit of the white left over, which is fine, but so this will look cute. It's a cute little kid hat. I don't know any little kids that this would fit that would wear it, but I made it and it's cute. And it's not a pattern. It was just a ball of yarn with a little hat thingy on. I think it's really cute. I think it's really cute. So I put a little star stitch row on here because I figured like star stitch goes with the snowflake. So I finished that. I started a shawl using loops and threads, facets yarn. It is shiny, sparkly, roving style, beautiful, gorgeous yarn. I don't know when I bought this. I want to say sometime in 2023. I am making this shape of a shawl. I am just doing random stitches as I feel. This first section is V stitches. I don't know what this next row stitch is called. But we're going to have this more open part on the next section of row. I'm going to go, I have 2 balls of this, so this is not going to be a very big shawl, but we're just going to keep going until we're out of yarn, but it will fit around my body a little bit better because it has the V to start with. But also you can wear it this way, and the ends will be able to fold around because I'm making it really deep peaks. So I started that, and everything's working really slow because of life. That is so my kid. He's saying the words to a song instead of singing them, which I do all the time. Like, I take lyrics from a song and I just state them as if they're fact. Like, if I'm starting a conversation with somebody. What song did I say to Mistress and me yesterday? It was a Blues Traveler song. I can't remember the beginning of the song because it was getting ready to come on the radio. I could hear the first notes of the song, and I looked at him and I just said the first like 3 lines on the song as if like it was a conversation. And he looked at me, he's all, what? And then the song started to play and he could hear the words, and then he just like, you're dumb. And that's what he just did. He was singing Car Radio from 21 Pilots. He was saying that somebody stole my car radio and I just sit in silence. Funny. Also, you guys saw that I did this. I dyed roving for the very first time in my entire life. In case you're new here, that roving is fluff. We call it fluff in this world because I think fluff sounds better than roving, and it's fluffy and it's like marshmallowy. Now this, I got a really killer deal on. Isn't this beautiful? I got this at a local yarn shop in Harrisonburg, Virginia. The roving was, I want to say 4 ounces. I think it's a 4-ounce ball of fluff. It's just white, undyed, uncolored wool that had been combed, so it's in a nice long strip. It smells so good. I've been dyeing with citric acid, and normally I dye with vinegar, and this just doesn't smell like vinegar at all. And generally when I dye with vinegar with the acid dyes, you can smell the vinegar even if you wash it 100 times. And this just smells woolly and delicious, and it makes me so happy. Now, if you didn't watch that video, you should, because it was interesting. I had never dyed roving before. Roving is more difficult to dye because you have a higher chance of felting it, where it just turns into felt, where you can't pull it apart to spin it. And I didn't felt this at all. I did a technique that I've never seen done. What I did is I put the dry fluff in the container with the dye on top of it, and then I poured water out of my kettle on top of it. and I let it sit out in the sun for a couple hours until it was completely cool to the touch. I gave it a good little rinse with soapy water. It is soft and fluffy, and the fibers did not compress at all. Like, at all. It's just light and airy and cotton candy-ish, and it drafts really easily. Like, even the ends are not at all compressed. I'm trying to be real ginger with it because I don't want to draft it and have a big section hanging off, but yeah, really like light and fluffy. Oh, see, now you're going to prove to me on this end. It does draft really easily. So soft. So fluffy. Not a single spot on it is crunchy or felted at all. I never imagined it to be this colorful and this gorgeous. So this is a mix of, this is custom. You're never going to find another one exactly like this because I am not 100% sure what dyes I use because I used leftovers. So the blue has a little bit of baby blue eyes and a little bit of turquoise in it, but I think there also is a little bit of green in there because it was left over from when I dyed yarn the week before. The orangey bits are safety orange mixed with pink. And then the purple and pink bits are purple pop mixed with hyacinth, I think. And I think there's a little bit of blue in there as well. These turned out way better than I could have ever imagined or even envisioned. And they didn't felt, which makes me so stinking happy. So I found more roving online for about the same price that I paid for these. I got 2 of these for $15 with a coupon, with a reward coupon at the local yarn shop. And so I found roving on Knit Picks for I think it was $7, $7.99 on sale. My stomach is growling so loud. If you can hear that, I apologize. I have not eaten breakfast yet, and my stomach is like, you need to eat. So I'm going to be doing more of this in the future for self-use, for spinning, because I want to make custom colors for myself. And I'm really excited to do that now that I figured out how to do it without felting it. So excited, especially with summer coming. Now, if you don't know, I live in the southern region. I'm not all the way at the south of the United States. In case you are not in the United States, you're not familiar. I'm kind of along the central line. So I'm about an hour and a half south of Washington, D.C. If you know where that's at. I'm on the East Coast. We're in the center area of the country, but we're below the Mason-Dixon line, so we're technically considered the South. So it gets hot here in the summer. Like, it gets ridiculously hot here in the summer. It will very often feel like it's in the upper 90s. That's Fahrenheit. And the humidity gets pretty warm. Like, it gets hot here. But if you put something out in the sun, it will get well above 100 and some degrees, or it will keep something hot for a long time. Like, if you put a cup of water outside and you pour it on yourself a couple hours later, it will burn your skin. It will absolutely burn your skin. Water coming out of the hose will scald you severely. So you have to be careful. Now I'm like, okay, I've dyed yarn out in the sun before, and it has worked without having to do any additional heating because it warms it up so much because of where we live. So I think that's going to be a fun summer project to do, is to dye some more fluff for myself and spin it up and see what we get. Because, and I had a lot of questions asking me, like, why not spin it first and then dye it? Because, I'll show you. The difference between dyeing it and putting like stripes or whatever, and the difference between spinning it from dyed like that. Now this is plied, so it's marled, but you will get a much more unique colorway. I mean, you can absolutely achieve this with intensive hand painting. And I don't hand paint yarn. I dye it. I'd put it in the bucket just like I did the wool, and I just pour yarn on it. Whatever happens, happens. There is a huge difference between dyeing the fluff and the way it comes out, and deciding how you're going to spin it. Now, because these are different colored chunks, I can very well create a self-striping yarn by doing this. I can just pull out just the blue, because you could pull this right apart, like you pull pieces out, and I could just dye chunks from the blue section and make it a striping yarn, and then pull out the pink and purple and do that section, and then the orangey bits and do that. I can create a self-striping yarn that way. I absolutely can. Or I can just pull and pull and pull and let it be like a watercolored effect as it goes, and it will blend itself. So while it looks like this here, if I dyed it, it would look like this. If I dyed it as yarn, it would look like this and stay looking like this. But when it looks like this and you're spinning it, these colors will blend together and create new colors that you've never even seen before. Like, where did that color came from? And it came from like the orange being too close to the blue. And the fibers kind of mesh together depending on how you pull it, how you draft it. That's why I prefer it dyed in this form rather than making it into yarn and then dyeing it, because to me it looks more watercolor, more unique, more one of a kind. Like, anybody can look at a yarn and replicate the dyeing process, and somebody could probably replicate the way this looks. I absolutely, because if you watch that video, you just see where I put the yarn and how I lined it up. You could replicate this. But unless you're watching me spin it and the technique I'm using to spin it and how I'm pulling the yarns, it's going to be really hard to replicate the spun product after the dyed product, if that makes sense to you. That's why I chose to dye the fluff instead of making it yarn and then dyeing the yarn. Yes, there's a higher chance you could felt the wool, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Absolutely worth the risk. Absolutely worth the risk. And what's crazy to me, what is insane to me, dyeing the fluff and spinning it from the fluff is drastically, drastically cheaper than buying hand-dyed yarn or hand-spun yarn. Drastically. This is 4 ounces. This cost me about $7. It was $7.50. I already had the dye. $7.50. This is going to turn into a beautiful, unique, one-of-a-kind hank of yarn. And I could probably get a really decent size hank of yarn for that. So, that's why. I feel like I've done something else this week, but I don't think that I have. Like, I feel like I have, but I don't think that I have. I have, because I've been doing so much other things, I have not had time for the energy or the wanting to do anything else. I'm really struggling with wanting to sit and crochet or knit or spin even. Yeah, I don't think I've spun anything either. I made roll eggs. I made roll eggs. And I didn't show you those. What's a roll egg? I have a roll egg video too. It's taking little bits and bobs and putting them on a blending board. I have a video on that as well. You make little one-of-a-kind, again, this is a one-of-a-kind situation, and you can spin right off of the fluff. You don't have to do this. This is an extra step that's not necessary, but I did it because I was working up my leftover cotton that I had purchased, and I worked the cotton in. I think I worked all the cotton in. I think I used up all the cotton. I worked it in with, so I blended the yarns together. I blended cotton with merino, and what is the other wool? I don't think this is merino. I think it's Corriedale. The reason I did it is because I bought this thinking I could spin with it, and the fibers in this specific yarn was short, so it was really hard to spin. Whereas This has really long fibers, so the fibers are real long. So it pulls and it stays together. These fibers are really short, so it breaks apart a lot when you're spinning. But if you comb them together and you like it kind of makes them all lined up. And I mixed a little cotton in there for color, and this spun up looks like, let me see if I can find it. I know it's over here somewhere. I don't know what I did with it. What did I do with it? Is it over there? Yes. This one right here. Is this mixed with a little bit of blue that I ran out of. So it worked up beautiful. And as you see, I put it with a whole set. This is hand spun. These are koi goo, and I made my own little kit for myself because these all have the colors that are in this yarn. And this is the Kirsty, not merino. I mean, it's merino, but it's the koi goo Kirsty that I got in the mystery packs. And several of the colors in the mystery packs matched up with my hand spun yarn. So that's why they're in there together. So that's what this works up like. See how that you can see the cotton coming through the white parts? So I made Rolex this week. I made a bunch. These weigh like nothing, so all of these will be spun together. This is just fluff. This is just fluff. The Rolex will be spun together to make probably another 100 gram hank of yarn like that. I'm really enjoying doing that. I mean, I don't want to do it all the time. I don't want to time. And a lot of like this, I'm not going to put on the carder. I'm just going to spin from this directly. But I will show this tomorrow. I was gifted this. And some of this is meant to be blended together. Look at these colors together. To make more Rolex. I'm so eternally grateful for that. I will show that tomorrow. So excited. So the rest of the week, I'm going to get ready and cut the video. Because I've showed you everything. I've updated you with everything. What?
Would you like to join us when you're done?
Where are you going? Lowe's? Yeah, I'll come with you. Mr. Cinnamon is a weirdo. He's standing through the door just staring at me smiling. It's weird to see me happy and relaxed, huh? And Bentley popped the door open so he could come lay with Mama because he's my best friend in the whole world. He literally was staring at me just smiling. It's gotta be weird to watch me work because I'm literally sitting here facing the wall talking to myself. It's gotta be weird to look at somebody doing that. Little man does it too. Little man records a ton of videos. Like, if he doesn't have a YouTube channel when he's an adult, I'm gonna be shocked. Because he, A, has a lot of personality, but he all the time is recording himself on videos and remixing them and adding in sound effects. Like, his videos will probably be way more advanced than mine. I'm gonna be real honest, because I don't have the patience to do all that. I'd rather sit and crochet than edit on the computer. He very often will be up in his room and he will be having a full conversation, not unlike his mother. Who are you talking to up there? I yell up to him. Nobody. I can hear you having a conversation. Who are you talking to? My fear is he's on the internet, right? No. He's recording videos. Like mother, like son. And the kid, I'm telling you, he looks just like me as a little kid. If you put my hair on top of his head, he looks just like his mom. Like, it is scary how much he looks like me. If you took pictures of the two of us side by side, he is my kid. He doesn't even look like he belongs to Mr. Cinnamon. And Juju, she has all of my internal problems. So every health problem I have, Juju has inherited, which I feel so horrible for. But her looks are more lean towards him, towards her dad. Except both my kids have blue eyes, and me and Mr. Cinnamon do not. They got their blue eyes from my dad, which is really strange. Because nobody else in the family has blue eyes. It's just my dad. My dad's eyes were hazel. They were blue-green hazel. But both my kids have blue eyes. My nieces don't. They have dark eyes. Hermione, the niece that pretty much I'm her mom, it seems like. Her eyes are gray. They're really weird. They lean greenish sometimes. She thinks they're green. They are not green. I've never seen that child with green eyes. They are gray, but they have like hints of other colors in with the gray. But they are gray. Her eyes are gray. My eyes turn green when I'm sick. Like, it's really weird. It's not like emerald green, but like right now they're kind of dark, which is, I mean, whatever. And it also depends on what color I'm wearing. It depends on what shade of makeup I'm wearing. It depends on the light in the room. But if I'm sick, my eyes are green. It's guaranteed they're going to be green. And it's green with like a red rim around them. I'm a vampire. Don't tell nobody. I'll come after you in the night. See, that's why I sparkle. I go out in the sunshine and I twinkle like I'm Edward. So, I'm gonna let you guys go. I think that, the upcoming week. Tomorrow is gonna be Happy Mail. I got some amazing Happy Mail. It's all of 3 packages, but it's 2 packages and a card. Amazing Happy Mail. I was so happy because we went to the post office to drop off all 50 boxes of yarn. And I was like, I have mail, I'm going to pop in real quick. And I had to drop off some packages for Juju. And I got to the car and we pulled over and I'm opening them. I was like, oh my God. So excited. So excited. So I came home with packages. I left with packages. And then Wednesday, I didn't even tell you guys about the yard sale. I will tell you about that probably Wednesday. I was going to save that for Friday, but I think that's going to be a Wednesday video. I got a killer deal on Fancy Bougie Yarns. Like, killer. You're not even going to believe it. Not even going to believe it. Some of those hanks were $5. $5. I'm going to give you a little preview. This one, $5. And I got 2 of them. Well, they're not the same color, but lots of story time to tell you about the yarn yard sale at Dances with Wool. That was amazing. And I made it there just before the rain made them close everything down. Like, it was a miracle. Because I would have cried if they closed before I got there. I would have cried. I'd have been begging them, can you please open up your trunk? I need to look at yarn. But that's going to be a whole nother story time on its own while I show you all the cool stuff I bought. And then I don't know what else is planned for the rest of the week because I'm just trying to play everything by ear right now. I'm trying not to plan too far ahead because everything that's going on. I just don't know what's happening day to day in my world. And with everything I'm just trying to take it one day at a time. I usually plan out 5 videos a week. I cannot process that in my brain to make 5 videos right now. So we have Happy Mail and the Yarn Yard Sale right now. And that's all I have planned for the week. I know that I will come up with more content by Thursday. I know this. I don't know what it's going to be at this moment because it's Sunday in my world. But my stomach is so loud. It's like there's a thunderstorm. I'm not even going to be embarrassed about it because like it is what it is. It's over there. All right. I also celebrated local yarn shop day, so I get to show you that as well. But that will be part of the yarn yard sale video because I purchased one thing for local yarn shop day because it was the same day as the yarn yard sale. But I'm really excited to share that video with you. I actually would love to sit and record it right now, but Mr. Cinnamon wants to go to Lowe's. We have work to do in the yard, and we got to pick up some more meat for dinner. We've been doing grocery shopping day by day because we haven't had time to do, well, it's not just time. We haven't been able to buy all of the groceries that need to be done, but time is one of the reasons why. But we got to go figure out what we're going to have for dinner tonight. I have no idea what we're going to make. It'll be fine. There's a lot of little things that need to be done today, and yeah, if you pray, just keep my family in your prayers. I feel it. I can feel that you guys are praying, and if you don't pray, light a candle for me. If you don't believe in candles, send me some positive energy. Think positive thoughts about me while you're crocheting or knitting. Just all of that helps. All of it helps. I don't care what you believe, who you believe in, none of that. That doesn't matter to me. I feel all of it. Because I believe there is power. I believe there is power in love. And I believe that there's power. I personally believe in God. I believe that, and I am a firm believer in feeling energy. And I can feel people's energy, and I feel when you guys are sending it to me. I really can. And it's been carrying me. It has been carrying me. Your prayers, your energy, your love, it's carrying me right now. And I absolutely thank you for that. And I'm so glad that you guys are here with me, because I can't do this alone. I can't do this alone. So, I love each and every one of you that are watching this video. Even if you're one of those people that are watching and don't actually like me, you're just watching to see what I got to say, you know who you are. I'm still grateful that you're out there, because you do matter. Even if you don't like me, you still matter. And with that, I'm going to let you go, and I will see you tomorrow for, we might have tea, but for sure we're going to have Happy Meal. And with the Happy Meal, we're going to talk about this because I got my new Crochet World and I want to make this blanket. So we're going to try to remember to talk about that. Because super excited about that. I actually kept, I told the Cinnamon Buns, I kept the green yarn. Because I don't have a lot. I kept the green yarn because I want to make this blanket. So we'll talk about that too in the Happy Meal, because that's technically mail. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.